But the thing is that our curiosity in this natural form is usually conditioned by people around us. And therefore, because of conditioning, it becomes, most people would ask things not for the real reason of being of benefit for others, but to fulfill their own wants and needs. And so, to understand this, to further elaborate on this point, it's like it is okay to ask questions, but ask question to fulfill your own personal want and need, or ask question, or to ask a question that is of a benefit for all other beings. Most of us are always asking, why? Why this, why that? And even people like to make statements. For example, some people like to make statements of why do this if people don't appreciate this or that? Why do that if that or this? Asking is no mistake. Why you ask, how you ask is the more important thing. It's the most important thing. For example, if we say, if we are asking about a particular question of a certain topic, or for everybody to understand, why does the Buddhist practice this and so, versus somebody asking a question to challenge another person, or to put down another person, okay, or to prove that they themselves are greater, smarter, or more skilled, or more life experience, right? And so these are the points that are very important for all of us. These are the points that are very important for all of us to seriously take notes on why we are like this or like that. So the main thing right now is saying that is curiosity to ask things. In itself, there is no right or wrong. But to ask to fulfill one's own desire or one's own need is a mistake. Somebody asked me very, very nice question the other day. So I said, if you have think of this question, then I really appreciate very much. So this person asked me a question with regards to what is the purpose of, should he be practicing reciting the sutra, or should he be practicing what is taught in the sutra? Right? And so my honest answer to him is both. If I were to say that you just recite the sutra and not practice what is being taught in the sutras, then is the same as making it's like a blind faith. But the main thing is for ourselves, ordinary beings like ourselves who have not much merits and not much wisdom. And the actual recitation of the sutra and the making the offerings really does help in the changing of the conditions of our mind. So somebody told me, say, he don't believe that offerings does affect his condition. He said he don't believe. He asked, so he in fact he challenged me to say that that making offerings can change his condition. So I think of very easy answer for himself. For him, I said, even if you live in the most ordinary house, in a most ordinary apartment or ordinary room, making an offering of a fresh coat of paint to your room changes, makes the room bright. Changing the light to maybe a better, maybe a more beautiful light changes the ambience. Lighting candles or tea lights gives the place warmth and glow. Putting flowers makes the place fragrant and bright and beautiful. Having a plate of fruit, even if it's not ripe, somehow adds to that touch of elegance and grace that gives a feeling of plenty. Right? Having essential oil diffusion gives that place its own distinctive perfumed area. And so, am I not right to say that making offering does change the condition, the external and internal condition? So that's why, even if somebody who is in a normal mood, I don't want to say somebody with a bad mood. I want to say somebody with a normal mood. Maybe go to some very high, maybe not high, but say very elegant place, elegant hotel lobby or elegant restaurant or place to eat, somehow does change the mood of people. Right? Even some departmental stores have their own fragrance, distinctive fragrance. Oh, you go there, you will smell this smell. Right? Yeah. And so, this is the understanding of how offerings can alter our external condition and affect the condition and the energy of our being and our mind. So, just reciting the sutra accumulate the same merit as Buddha giving the teaching. By reciting the names, by telling the story, it's like a person who recites the sutra, even without devotion and faith, generates this a great accumulated great unbelievable amounts of merit that is beneficial for the beings of that area to listen like a grandfather telling story. Right? Because they, especially if they know how to do, if they are trained in ways of Tantra as dissolution and the re-arising as the deity and recite the sutra, it's even greater merit. All right? And so, but just to do so and not practice what is being taught in the sutra, then is and not practicing what's being taught in the sutra is unfortunate. So we say, to say something without the form, okay, then it's like just talk and no action. But just to have the action and without the word, then you have it, but there's no grace. Okay, you have it, but there's no grace. Like for example, maybe you have a pet dog, but no matter how you called out to the dog ignores you. Just totally, you have no power of your speech. Right? Maybe don't say dog. Maybe you have a pet turtle, pet terrapin, and the terrapin grows up. If you call it, even you give the terrapin name, and then you try to train the terrapin, maybe the terrapin can't be bothered with you. Right? Does the terrapin have a name? No name. You should give Dharma name. You are your terrapin's guru. Yeah, you should recite mantras for your, when you're doing your homework, put your terrapin beside you. It's very important. Yeah. And so, even if you have a fish tank, even you've got the dogs and cats, the main purpose is you have to train to be your pet's guru. You are your pet's guru. You are your children's guru. It is not a matter that you got children and then they ask the children to go learn from somewhere and somebody else. The parent itself is the children's guru. And if the parent cannot convince the disciple, the parent, which is like the guru, cannot convince the child disciple, then definitely parent must accumulate great merit and do this and study and read up and to study, and so as to be able to use psychology, practices of psychology for the benefit of the child. If the child thinks the way parents does is old-fashioned, useless, and if the child sees the parent is reading up to try to communicate, maybe it would not admit, especially teenage or early adult, young adult, maybe they would not admit, but I'm sure they will appreciate. So the main thing is how we are supposed to transform our mind with Dharma. Not use the Dharma for our own benefit. Like for a good example would be in the Sutra or the Namgyalma Sutra. And so in the Sutra, then they talk about to recite this sutra for the benefit of the living and the dead. Chinese say, 名扬两利. And so, some people will say that, there's a benefit for the living and the dead, so just keep on reciting the sutra. Alright? And so, because there's benefit, so just keep on reciting the sutra. This is one way of practicing. The other way of practicing is to understand deeper why we practice this sutra, why this Buddha talk like this. Why did Buddha talk about this practice? Why did Lord Buddha talk about this practice? Why did he ask us to do certain practice? Why did he advise us to do certain mudras or recite certain mantras? To understand deeper and to follow, right? For the benefit for all beings. The other one is just blind faith. I just recite so that I will be good. So the more I recite, the better for my family, the better for this, the better for that. Whereas in the sutra, the Buddha said, recite every full moon day, to be vegetarian and recite full moon night to recite 1,000 times Namgyalma mantra. Of course, Namgyalma mantra, there's a long, there's a middling, and there's a short, right? And if you recite, says that you recite, and then after that there's you dedicate something, and then there's a great benefit. So, do both. Recite the sutra and recite the mantra. With, like a sutra is, when we recite the sutra, it is good that we recite. Why we recite in front of the altar is because it is the voice of Buddha. In our mind, we think we are reciting, even we are sitting on the floor, it's like we are the one that is listening to the Buddha giving this discourse 2,000 over years ago. You understand? Maybe now, because of our obscuration, we cannot hear the Buddha's holy body talk, the Rupa talk. But in the Of course, there's two types. One type of people say they can look at the sky and then they can hear things. And then there are type of people, and then those other type of people also say that, oh, some Guan Yin or somebody come and talk to them, or they can hear the statue talk to them. Some is like this, some is not. Okay? Yeah. Most are like this. Very rarely that one that is not, that can hear or that is not. Very rarely. Very rarely. Okay? So, and so, when we recite the sutra, the practice of humility, that as though I'm listening to this sutra from the Buddha himself, and one received the blessing exactly like listening to the Buddha himself. And number two is, one create the cause from listening at the feet of the Buddha in the future lives. Even one may be enlightened. Even one may become a great bodhisattva. But maybe when Maitreya Buddha appears, one becomes maybe one of the bodhisattvas of Buddha Maitreya. Right? To listen to Buddha Maitreya give teaching directly by him in the Nimanakaya form. You understand? So the main thing right now, is about, many of us like to ask about why this, and so we want to demand answers to our questions. This is the root cause of samsara. Demanding of answers, asking why like this, why, and this and that. We want to know why the person like to gamble, why the person is this, why other people like this, why the other people didn't do like that and this. So we are asking questions and demanding answers based on the answer that usually we want or like to hear. Right? There is never two sides to a coin. Okay? There's never two sides to a coin. Yeah. Because everybody thinks there's only two sides to a coin. Yeah, if there's a coin is what if the coin is an 8-sided coin? So there's 10 sides to a coin. Right? I think in the early times in Malaya, Singapore and Malaysia, the 1 cent coin was a square. Right? It was a square coin. Right? So the square coin, so there will be 6 sides to a coin. But ultimately, many people we just assume there are 2 sides to a coin. And this depends really where one is standing. The thing is that how one should practice is to practice to see the oneness of nature, a oneness of phenomena. How we want things to appear, we have to arrange the condition for it to appear. This is not only what the Buddha taught, not only what the gurus taught. This was also experienced. This can also be experienced in nature. Okay? So, the fair thing is to understand, the right type of fruit can only be harvested in the right place, right weather, right type of climate, right type of weather, suitable amount of rain, then you get the fruits. For example, this is impossible to grow. It's impossible to grow, to harvest durian fruit in America. It's impossible. Right? Impossible. But can it be done? Can it be done? It can be done. If there's the warmer, there's what do you call, greenhouse, right? Greenhouse, warmer, and everything that is, you create the right condition with the right type of lighting. Because I think in Canada, even most of the time is gloomy, there's no sun in winter. And so for this kind of trees, it's impossible. You cannot grow papaya. You can grow. You definitely can grow something, but it will die. You can even, I believe, you can grow a coconut, but will it become a tree? Will it fruit? That's another thing. So our practice, in reality, our practice is to condition our internal world, recondition the external world, okay, to understand the working of nature. So nature already taught us the importance of, nature already showed us by experience the importance of having the right suitable conditions. So therefore, when we as practitioners, as those who wish to cultivate in the Buddha Dharma, those of us who wish to practice, the main thing is not about pointing out each other's faults, right? The main thing is about creating the suitable condition for Dharma cultivation. Suitable condition means growing the heart, having a more space in your heart, more relax in your heart, and more space in your heart. 放松、放宽、放阔。You need space. You need to release the grip, right? And you need to make it grow. You need to make it grow bigger, spacious. Your heart, our heart and our mind need to be spacious. On the contrary, so many people practice whatever religion they are practicing. It's only the purpose is to fulfill their need. May not be what the whole spiritual tradition is all about. For example, let's talk about Dzambala practice. Main purpose of practicing Dzambala is to teach about generosity. The attainment of the practice of Dzambala is to perfect the practice of generosity, compassion, non-judgmentalism, equanimity, okay, loving kindness, right, and charity, right. Turn around, many people now say, oh, Dzambala, please give me lottery number. Right? So the spiritual tradition and his practice, right, it says very clearly, of course, the causes of poverty is because of what? Miserliness. Miserliness is the cause of poverty. All right? Miserliness of what? Possessions? Not just that. Okay? The most important aspect to understand is actually called the generosity of time, generosity of attention, generosity of space, generosity of I think maybe English word is accommodating. You have to be generous to accommodate other beings and not to have a fixated judgment of how things will and must be. Many beings, if we practice Buddhism and then we become self-righteous and not accommodating, then really we talk about love, talk about compassion, talk about kindness, all this just talk. I think English word is accommodating. We need to cultivate the mind, the space, the heart to be able to accommodate others. Then when other people feel comfortable with us, then it's called the skillful means of just one tap and they awaken and they realize. If not, we are just forcing things down people's throats. So we really need to reflect about how accommodating we are as a person. So for example, if you become bodhisattva and you sit and you practice bodhisattva perfection, we don't say you become a statue. We say right now you are sitting down in meditation, or you are just spacing out and relax. Maybe you have your own space. But somebody comes and see that you have serenity. Will somebody who has no serenity be attracted to somebody who has serenity? Yes. Why not? Because the person is searching for serenity. Right? And if you have the physical manifestation of serenity, and in your heart you really exude the energy of serenity, people will come and disturb you. Actually, they're not disturbing. They just want to know how to become like you. Right? Correct? It's just very simple. It's just a very simple, no-brainer logic. If you have peace and serenity, inner serenity and inner peace, as somebody is feeling messed up, they can feel you. Why can people feel you? Because everybody is an energy being. They can feel your serenity, they can feel your peace, and they're attracted to you. The main thing right now is this. What do you do? Or what do you choose to? How would you choose to react? Scram because I'm trying to have my serenity, so get lost and get out of my life. So we right now have to, why am I saying this? Because I need all of us to learn how we are reacting in reality. We may really not be very nice people, even though we are searching for the inner serenity and inner peace. But we are really just power crazy, or with greed, lust, and desire. We want things to happen accordingly to how they are. Like maybe, for example, a good example, I always look at people who like to grow bonsai. I like bonsai myself, but every time I look at the tree, I feel this, the person who is doing this bonsai, he had this in mind, and he's trying to, and what he does is his skill in understanding nature, about the nature of the plant, and then therefore he does things to the plant that makes the plant look something like this or like that. Maybe turn it into a ball, or make it into some words or some animals or this and that. So what is happening to the plant? Does the plant really exist? Does the form really exist? Or is that a manifestation of the agriculturalist mind? Okay? So the person who created this, understands how things should do, should be, can be, may be, and adjust things accordingly. But the main thing is, what I'm saying is, for the tree, the natural aspect of the tree, right? It's freedom, or it's freedom of expression, or freedom of this thing, then it's lost. So what is important to you may not be important to another person. Our inner serenity needs and must be focused upon equanimity, which is the root of accommodating to others. Because we may not think that I am same as that person. Okay? So, to be able to accommodate others, to be able to share with others, to be able to have some experience of feeling of love and compassion and kindness, definitely need, number one, I feel the most important thing is bravery. Okay? So, all of you here who come and listen to the Dharma every week, I praise you because you are brave. It is not easy to listen to the Dharma. Because when you listen to the Dharma, we need to fight off many, many things. One is leg pain. Number two is back pain. Right? Third is sleep. Correct? Yeah. This is very natural. Because I also spend long time sit down, listen to my Guru give teaching. Yeah. Even I had also experienced my forehead touch the ground. Yeah, because I sit there, then slowly I relax and my forehead touched the ground. I just slept like that. And my teacher just carried on teaching. Yeah. Just, of course, one, two other, but I fell asleep. And then when I woke up, then very embarrassed. I say sorry. My teacher said, if you're tired, just sleep. But he said, this was taught. Yeah. Read up, not sure, ask them. Main thing is to experience, to understand, and to experience the teaching. Not to learn and have an intellectual knowledge of the Dharma. Right now, so many of us, in fact, I would say, so many people may have even more intellectual knowledge of Dharma than me. Even you may have more intellectual knowledge of many things than me. Maybe you have your personal collection of this and that. Some of you may like to collect different things, and therefore your understanding of different things will be more than me, definitely. Main thing right now is to look at how we can allow our heart and mind to grow to accommodate each other. And not to question other people, why they are like this, why they are like that. And the next thing is about remark making. Okay? Many people, especially if you are rich or of age, okay, they don't talk to people. They don't share experience. They make remarks. Right? For example, a good example. For somebody older or somebody more experienced, they will say, cough, don't eat chicken. Then they walk off. Right? Durian very sweet, don't eat. And they walk off. Or when they take the durian away from me. Is it nice? Is it rude? Is it sad? Yeah. But the main thing is, for many of us, we cannot understand, we cannot see that we are like that. Because we believe that food is medicine, and food is medicine. But to maybe people across halfway around the world, like the Americans, food is not medicine, food is food, medicine is medicine. Medicine is medicine, food is food. Food and your health has got nothing to do with each other. This was what I experienced myself in America, talking to the people and everything, and somehow food is not medicine. Medicine is medicine. Drugs and medicine is one category. So it's impossible for maybe some people over there at the other side of the world will be very offended if they tell them, say, eat turkey will make you fat. Right? You understand? But rest assured, all of us are like that. People would like to think that, don't eat this, don't drink that, or this will make you this, or, Maybe somebody said out of kindness, or say, eating this will make this person to, for example, I heard somebody say to me, don't drink water standing up. Okay? Don't drink water standing up. When you grow old, you cannot hold your pee, and you will. Okay, I heard this from different people. One of them was my own grandmother. Right? She told me when she was about 94 years old. She said, "Don't drink water up. If you want to drink water, make sure you sit down. Make sure you sit down and drink your water. Don't stand up." There I go. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Right. But she's my grandmother. No choice, right? Yeah. Believe you me, I did a research on it. Okay? I read up on Western medical journals and this and that. Right? It didn't say about incontinence in old age. But what it did say was, if you drink water while standing up, the water will flow through your body very quickly, okay, and then you will not be able to, the absorption of water would be less, because you don't feel, so there is they did have some explanation. I can't remember what I was just reading through, and yeah. So it's not that it's not true, but the way it is being said, or the way that it's being projected. So is there truth in old wives' tale? Are there any truths in old wives' tales? Yes or no? Huh? Sure yes? Sure yes? Huh? Right? Definitely yes. Old wives' tale. What auntie, grandma, everybody come, they say this and that. One old wife's belief: if your child drools a lot, use your kitchen tablecloth and wipe the mouth, and it stop drooling. I asked my friend who is but try it, right? Before I tried it, did I try it? Yes. Okay? I tried on as many children I could get my hands on. Okay? Yeah. I even asked my Taoist priest friend, is it true? Okay, is it true? And so he had his logic and reasoning, and then he said, therefore it is true. I don't want to tell you the reason. I don't want to tell the reason. The way he explained, he had his stand, his logic and reasoning. And so therefore he said that, therefore it is true. So my courteous reply was, if that's the case, and I stand on other side, to stop any child from getting sick and drooling, then they should boil the tablecloth and serve the child the water. Okay, so do you want to know what was his reason? His reason was, tablecloth, white table, everybody eat, and there's sauce and everything, and so it says it's called the. So maybe if there are any spirit harm or anything that harm the child, so using this to wipe, so those who want to feast on the saliva of the child or make the child sick or unwell will go to the cloth. So I say, okay, if that's the case, may I ask then if I take this tablecloth thing and I boil and then I bathe the child, and then after that he gave me a funny look. Then I gave him a funny look and both of us laughed. Right? So it can end up to be, it could have ended up unfriendly. Right? But the way I said it, and then in a funny way, with a funny look and a funny tone and a funny face, both of us laugh. Right? So it's not that, so many people may have the best interest for many things. Many people have best interest for many things. But why did things screw up? Very simple. You may have your best interest, but your best interest is based on your ego. Our best interests have always been based on our own ego of how we believe things should be. If the thing didn't end up the way I want it, or or I believe it to be, that I won't come. That I just go. I don't come, I just go. And looking at how things happen through the years, it is true, many people will come and many people will not come. And then when they need me or they need you, they will come. After a while, they won't come. And it's always a matter of coming and going. And that's why it's called Buddha. Buddha witnessed this and therefore he is called Tathagata, Ru Lai. Yeah. Ru Guo Qi Wei Lai. Last time like that, now like that, next time. So Buddha sees everything in this. So all of you are Ru Lai, no? Wei Lai, Wei, 你们是未来的如来啊。魏如来你们姓魏，名叫如来，魏如来So it's a matter of if we live our life with everything having the expectation, things must go according to how we believe it to be because it has worked this way, then understand that your merit and your condition, or maybe your conditioning, allowed it to happen and manifest that way for you. It could have worked that way because you had the condition for the things to exist, for all things to exist for you. But if it worked for you, it does not mean that it will work for others. Maybe because other people have more merit than you, or less merit than you. Give a good example. Actually, this one is a private conversation between myself and Sangyumla. This conversation was about wives. Okay? And Sangyumla was saying, really some wives are much more difficult to deal than with other wives. Because some women some women are really much, much more difficult than other women. So I was just discussing about some other things. We were just talking, private conversation, talking and laughing about that, because I say all wives are the same. All men are difficult to talk to their wife. I say all wives are the same. Then she turned around and said, believe you me that not all women are the same. Not all wives are the same. Yeah, so she gave some reasoning, which actually I know. I just want to disturb her. But it's true. It does not mean that if you are married and then your wife is the same as other people's wives. So don't stop comparing. Yeah, it is your karmic debt that you owe her or she owes you. It's a karmic debt, right? Some husbands are battered by their wives. Yeah. Some wives are battered by their husbands. Some of them are best friends, and some of them are really funny. Right? So, karma is really something that using husband and wife, we don't even want to say husband and wife, even if it is, like I said, I have nothing against gays or lesbians or bisexual or transsexual, whatever. Anybody having a partner, right? To be able to be a partner, karmic debt is there. Right? Karmic debt is there. Why some of the men there giving me this kind of looks? I cannot say who. Some men are giving me this kind of. Yeah, some are. Yeah, they don't say much. Bling bling, bling bling, not bling bling, blink blink. Right? Yeah. So all I want to say is this: for the men whom your wives are here, Yeah, I'm not saying you have many wives here. For the men who your wives are here, you're fortunate that your wife is here. Yeah. What? Who clap? You trying to score point, is it? Trying to score point. I see. Yeah. I know your wife very near you lah. You must have done something wrong. You have to score point your wife. Always good to score point. Okay, you don't score, wife can already lah. So, and so therefore something we need to say is, I give a very good example. Alright? Do all of you know how to cook instant noodle? Will all of your instant noodle come out the same? Why? It's instant noodle. Hot water, put the noodle inside, put the packet of whatever inside, wait for it to boil, stir and serve. Why does everybody's instant noodle taste different? This is something I cannot understand. All taste different, right? Right? Presumably, you do not add anything else. Okay? Will it still taste different? Yeah. Okay? Pot different, fire different, water different, texture different. Yeah. So, one thing. Now, I have to give you why I can accommodate you. You want to know why? Many of you come to me and ask me, Rinpoche, how you can take our nonsense? Even I can't stand myself. I want to slap myself. Yeah. How come you can take our nonsense? Actually the correct word, how you can take our shit? Nah? Number one is I accepted being the toilet bowl. Okay? Number two is I accommodate you. But the most important is I already understand that the purpose of eating is to become full. Is to be full. That's it. Focus on the needs and not the wants. All of us have different wants. If I want to fulfill your wants, I'll die. Right? For example, I already fulfilled your big wants. Air conditioning, right? How about we switch off the aircon and we switch off the aircon and light candles and switch off the lights and have a half an hour teaching. This is called free tropical sauna. Free tropical sauna. Still wear bure dhoti. Everybody will smell like salted fish. Right? You understand? Air conditioning system. Has it become a want or a need? Huh? Has it become a want or a need? Huh? You cannot answer wants or a need, right? Huh? Who say is a want? Air conditioning. Who says a need? Wow, everybody says need. So if I were to go somewhere to give a Dharma talk as no air conditioning, will people come? Yes. They bring their own aircon, right? 25 years ago, I did something fantastic in the summer. You know what I did? I wore a vest in summer to do prostrations. In summer, in Nepal, I was doing prostrations. Summer in Nepal is hotter than here in a sense because it's nearer to the sun. But I could keep on doing prostrations, wearing a vest. You know why? It's outside. No aircon. No. Yeah, I put ice pack. Now you understand? I put ice pack. Yeah. What? Anyone new? I won't tell you. Of course, it's my everybody thought I went crazy. I was wearing a vest, and my vest had inner zips. Yeah. On the outside, it's just normal vest. On the inside, hidden. Then they thought I'm very fat, no? Yeah. So I put ice pack. It was wonderful. Yeah. Sure, I kept cool. Sometimes too cold. And it was like I was crazy because I said, wow, it's too cold. It's too cold, I'm taking off my vest. Of course, nobody knew my secret. Yeah, nobody knew my secret. Do you know what's ice pack? Yeah. Actually, it's not ice pack. It's this blue color liquid they put in the freezer, Yeah. So when you do prostration, you put one on the back and put here, and then you do. Wow, it's very cold, very nice. Yeah. Okay. So this is something nobody understood. Why I was wearing a vest in summer, and I would say it's too cold. I need to take out my vest. Everybody is suffering from the heat, right? So there must be reason. So create the conditions. We have to create our condition. We create the condition by our own Dharma practice. Only our own Dharma practice, only our own mind can experience our great bliss. Our own mind can experience our bliss. That is all. Okay? Nobody can make you happy unless you want to be happy. If you don't want to be happy, if you want to complain and want to be upset and want to be angry and want to be this, even if you're offered a bed of roses and you want to be upset and jealous and angry and whatever, nothing can come out. Sleep on it and you say that the roses are making you dirty. Okay? So this is something that we must all understand. Conditioning is the most important. Okay? So when we make remarks at others, think about other people's karmic condition. Okay? Yeah. I had an experience of my friend who was from a colleague who was from a middle upper class society. Everything, he was rich and everything. And he made a remark at another colleague who was, of course, definitely not of a good financial condition and everything. And he said that, why so stupid, just use this and this can already. But he does not understand that the other person who was in a totally different world that he lived in. Right? If one is heaven, the other one I would say maybe, I wouldn't say hell, but almost there. You see? So when we make remarks at people, when we say things, we must be sensitive towards the other being's condition. So how to be sensitive is to have to start to communicate with each other even before anything happens. It's not about just praying anymore. It's not about just hi-bye or eating and drinking friend anymore. It's about getting to know each other's family background and condition and things that people do. Then when they share that they have problem, when you see that they have a difficulty, then you will understand. Then you will understand. Then there's no problem. You can help rather than just to make a judgment. Why do you need to do this? Why do you need to do that? Why must things be like this? Yeah. Why can't you do like this? Why can't they do like this, like that? This is very common problem or situation. Let's not use a problem. Very common around the world, everywhere, in every aspect or level of life, human life. Right? Communication, one thing. Mutual understanding is another thing. Mutual understanding, conditioning, communication, right? And sharing, opening up. All right? All these things actually in the Buddha's teaching. All in the Buddha's teaching. But for many of us, we cannot see when we are reading the text. Because in the text it says that, there are many different beings and this and that. Just because the sutras saying that there are different beings who came before the Buddha, different types of beings, and they prostrated to the Buddha, and they thanked the Buddha, or they came forward to speak to the Buddha, what was the hidden meaning? The agenda was people's People had hope, people had wish, can have wish, people can have hope, and people have their needs fulfilled. So therefore, even all of us may cook your instant noodle differently. The main thing is to eat for supper, because after teaching, I'm hungry, you know. Right? Eat instant noodle. Yeah. Okay. Right. That's the instant noodle story. Yeah. One husband was telling the wife to eat instant noodle. The wife felt sad. My husband asked me to eat instant noodle. Yeah. The husband told me, wife say herself she is fat. If eat anything else, become fatter. So anyway, it's a joke. It's a situational karma. Karmic situation. Right? Believing you are fat. Or in reality, if you are fat. It's a totally fetishish story. Okay? It's fetishish. Okay? Yeah. It's a fiction. But not fiction, but faction. So fetishish story. Right? And really, you cannot say anything about it, because somebody say, if it involve woman, shut up. Okay? Some people just think, if it involve a woman, shut up. Don't say anything. Okay? But me, myself, I just say, it's all a fiction. It is all an illusion. Whether man or woman say men don't understand them, men say women don't understand them. And as far as I'm concerned, nobody understands anybody. Because nobody ever wanted to be understood anyway. Why? Because the man shut up and the woman complain. So the man also don't want to be understood. Right? Why you giving me? The man shut up and the woman complain, is it? I see. I'm not saying you. It's not. Of course, I'm not talking about you. Right? Yeah. So the main thing is, if you really want to be understood, yeah, have effective communication. Okay? How other beings perceive you is how beneficial your communication is. There's verbal communication, physical communication, energy communication. Right? Now somebody even said there's aura communication now. Wow. Aura communication. Auric communication. Wow. Okay? So what is important is effective communication is based on your choice. How you want to communicate, how you want the other party to understand, how we want the result to be, actually it is all in your power to make it happen. And you know it, right? Right? You know it, right? Yeah, so don't tell me, say, I don't know, I just come and pray, I'm just hoping for the best. Sometimes, all of you just lie to me so much. I feel like I'm the wife, that always get lied to. Yeah, all of you like to lie to me. They come up here, no, this, that, wow, all telling me lies. Yeah, I should write a poem or a song about lies, because they only tell me their side of the story. Right? That's why I say, many beings in search of Dharma are lunatics. You want to know why? Do you want to know why? You know why I say all of us are lunatics? Because I'm lunatic too, you know. You know why? Because we present the aspect we want you to see. The other part is in shadow. Right? The phases of the moon changes day by day. Right? There's a full moon, a quarter moon, half moon. The moon is there, but they just show you a crescent moon. Right? That shows how we can effectively show what we want to see, what other people want to see. That's why I like the moon. Right? Today, my mood is this, I let you see more. Tomorrow, my mood is that, I let you see less and less of me, or more and more of me, depending on the time of the month. Right? So, best is just be like the sun. Or, for me, it's just best to be like the sky. Yeah. So many people say, when we say you practice Dharma and then you study different study concepts or study different views, and then after that, they're fixated on, if they have this text says is this and that Lama says is that, so therefore things may become this or that, so therefore I side with this and I am this. The moment we take I am this, then we say you have fallen to the 4 extremes. Okay? So anyway, you can go type what are the 4 extremes in the Wikipedia in Buddhism, the 4 extremes, and go and find out. Yeah, because I think I must give you some homework. Yeah. 4极端. 四极观点. Okay, 4 extremes. Yeah. Learn more about the different points and aspects of the Dharma and how it should reshape the way we see the world and feel we are in this world. Okay? We can either say that we are of one race or another race, or this country, that country, or we can just say that we are, as according to the Dharma, we belong to the human realm. You see, Buddha gave teaching accordingly that there are 6 realms in samsara. He didn't say there are 6 within the human. There are how many different types of human beings. Right? Did the Buddha say that? No, he did not say. He did not explicitly say that there are how many different types of human beings, because that would be creating so much problem for ourselves. Okay? Human beings, only one type. This is very important to understand. All human beings have the condition to, we are suffering. Okay? And Buddha said that we are suffering. But Buddha said that we don't just suffer, we also have a lot of our own enjoyments. There's 50% suffering, 50% enjoyment. If human realm is only about suffering, then there's no happiness being human. Right? Of course, so therefore the Buddha's teaching is very balanced, asking us to be responsible for our own choice and our own life. That's it. That's why he said that he did not force us to take vows, did not force us to do anything. It is our choice. Okay? So, maybe that's all for today. Tomorrow then I'll talk about something else. Maybe more interesting. Tomorrow night many people will come. Yeah, as long as talk about the year and everything, yeah. I think maybe I should become an astrologer. Maybe I'll become more famous than be Lama. So talk about astrology, wow. Huh? It's unbelievable. It comes to Dharma teachings, wow. Dharma teaching is wow. It comes to astrology and doing pujas, wow, right? So it's quite understandable. Tomorrow night, we need. I don't know when we are going to service the aircon. Maybe we need to service soon. Good night.